before, but I'm told that typically something like that to move through appropriations takes approximately 2 to 3 years. So if this ends up in North Bend and their museum is happy and our community is happy and it turns out to be a great thing and they get federal appropriations and all that other stuff, fantastic. Then that's still a great gem for our community, and I'm thrilled that it's somewhere here. But what I'm told is that to wait 2 or 3 years to see if the feds come through, with the congressman that introduced it no longer representing that area, and a lot of what ifs from the state and the county, and all these issues, and their board saying we're not even crazy about the proposal in the first place. And
They said they haven't seen a proposal.
Okay.
So they have there. What's?
I talked to Ms. Myers, and she said that she has a lot of reservations about the proposal down there, and like she said, cleanup, maintenance, security, staffing, all of those issues that would come with that, that we could have a solution for up here. So again, I'm not here to say, here's a plan, vote on it, but yes, Mr. Redden.
Okay. First of all, Mike, thank you very much. I really like when somebody says they want to spend money on history. That's wonderful. I mean, and I want to thank everybody from Miami Township. And I know Paul's been a long-time supporter of this whole idea, the Miami Township Hall and all that you pay for there. We certainly appreciate all that, because it's really just an idea. It's just people that like history. It's just, who wants to volunteer to promote this? But like Bev says, it is a very unusual gem that we have here, the history that we have. And there's a lot of it, a lot of nooks and crannies and little this and that. And we've had some effort down there before where there's been a lot of push for local history. And at this point it's getting shoved aside a little bit. And there's a reason for that. The reason, and there's a lot what Bev said, is because people come in from out of town and they're very, very interested. And it's really nice to be able to present something to them. Well, they want to go to the tomb, the little red square that's all on the Rand McNally maps, that brings them right in there, and I'm sure there's other things, and I know our websites does things. But I'm always a little mystified, I look at that Miami Township, we have Addison, North Bend, Miami Heights, we have all that community, and that's, why can't we all work together for this type of thing? And I'm a little skeptical of it being so far away from the tomb. People come to the tomb, they want to see something near the tomb. It might be 10 minutes up here and 10 minutes back. That's 20 minutes. Most people from California are ready to drive on because they got some other place to go. And I know we're maybe not trying to cater to California. But the other point I would like to make is that if you do go forward with this, a good part of what the museum about is education. It's easy to duplicate. You can have it in more than one location. We have some artifacts, they're treasured, but when you get right down to it, people come in, they want to be educated. Tell me about what happened with Harrison. What happened, who is John Cleve Sims? And he's the father-in-law of William Henry Harrison. Most people don't know that. And we have a man that was the only one in the United States ever to be the son of a president and the father of a president. It's like, well, that brings up, well, who's the other president? And we had a group down there, and the guy said, who was Tecumseh? And I was like, really? You never heard of Tecumseh? I'm like, but it's fun to talk to people and engage. We've had people from all different parts. I had a group, I don't do near as many as Bev does, but I had a group from a Lewis and Clark just club or whatever. They're part of it's a national club, and they came in, and it was just a delight to deal with people like that and show them some of the stuff that we have. And they were just so excited that they invited me out to lunch with them, and I invited them up to my house and showed them some of the other collectibles that I have. And it's engaging and fun. I don't want to say anything. Just being introduced to this, I really, really like that you are thinking about history. but I think there's history to share, and I have some history boards that, down in the Township Hall of North Bend, and I say, well, let them to, you can take them out anytime you want. Well, they've been down there about 2 or 3 years. I don't know if anybody's been down there and saw them. It's just informational, that's all it is, easy to duplicate. I don't know where I'm going with this, except that I really think that we should think long and hard before we take the core of the museum away from where it's needed.
I guess, thank you for, again, everything you've done in leadership on this. And you've been a champion both fiscally, financially, and just a cheerleader in general. I guess, I agree with this, and so in my view, and obviously I'm here for Miami Township, I was elected for Miami Township, I agree. Let's be Miami Township, and North Bend and Cleves and Addison are all villages within Miami Township. If you get into North Bend and Cleves says, well, wait, what about us? You get into, Addison, they say, well, what about us? Everybody does, I'm not looking to divide, I'm looking to unite and say, let's celebrate everything that has happened here in Miami Township, which includes North Bend, which includes Cleves, which includes, Addison, and celebrate that history as a whole. I spoke with Paul Beck earlier, and I was going to ask him for sort of the history of Miami Township, this area, to help and put a committee together, and we can work because he and others are very knowledgeable about the history of Miami Township. But I think that for me, I know your argument about the tomb. Maybe I drive with a lead foot, but I think it took me 6 minutes or 5 minutes or something like that. If I'm coming from Texas or California or New York or whatever else to see something, I'm gonna spend 5 more minutes to run up the hill to be able to experience the tomb and experience what a state-of-the-art awesome museum is that celebrates the history of these folks. I'm not going to say, I made it this far, but I'm just gonna go.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's something to think about because.
Absolutely, and I think it's something that during, as we discuss this, I think it should be discussed,
I was in Beebe, Indiana, last week, and, I went into a shop, and the woman had top score at CTM, probably taught you then. Anyway, the other lady that was with us, she asked us where we were from, where she was from Harrison, I was from Cleves, and she said, I had people in here last week that said to me, have you been in the museum in Cleves? Now, I'm a Lincoln person, I'm in the wrong place and time, but when we went back for funerals in Springfield, Illinois, we were hard pressed to find a place to stay and a place to eat when our relatives were all gone. When I went back there after they built the Lincoln Museum and had a museum, the presidents, when they're highlighted, there was an old Charlie's at the first exit, there was a hotel, there was a Comfort Inn. That's what happened from the year 2000 to about 2006. When you have history people coming in for history, no area is going to suffer. All the areas get new roads, they get new things, because that history brings in the tourists. And so if you want to keep it in a little capsule in your own little area, you're not going to get them. But if you make a qualified museum and displays, and Tom does a good job with some of that stuff, then you're going to have people, what's 5 miles in Springfield, Illinois? You know what I mean? If you come for that thing, and that's what the people are coming for, and I have a hard time telling people, they're not coming to see my fire baton. They're coming to see what we have to say about the Harrison. John Cleves Sims was in the 3rd Continental Congress when they founded this country. So we've got all the glory, and we don't do anything about it. And it's probably time, because we're getting so busy, somebody helps us with this glory a little bit. If you understand what I'm trying to say. It's not gonna be bad for the community to do it, no matter where it is, but I don't think we wanna put a flood. You gotta consider, I remember when that across the street was flooded when I was a kid, so that's, how many papers with William Henry Harrison's signature on it do you wanna put in a flood zone? I mean, it is, it's floodplain,
You mean where the township hall is now?
not a little bit.
What are you saying?
I'm saying across the street from the tomb, I have seen that flooded. Have you, Jack?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. When you think about building something, you gotta get it out and take care of it.
Okay, here's the, and here, I
That's
don't know
all
what
I
else
have.
you have, Mike, I got something real quick.
Yep.
So let's table this and let's move forward.
Sure.
Because we've got so much other stuff to get done tonight, and then, just real quick, we've got all kinds of stuff, we've got the park extension down there going on, we've got Buffalo Ridge, East Miami Park going on, which we've been working on for years, the park extension, acquiring the land. So all I'm saying is, let's table this, let's schedule a meeting, like I mentioned to you earlier, for you, Jack, and I to have a working meeting. We can invite the public if they want to, and we can discuss this, I think, more appropriate time where we can designate more time to discussions. Because I have like 50 questions. So what I have. So.
I'm sure the Civic Association will have
Right,
50 more.
and then Three Rivers Athletic Association, they're already not on me, asking me to build more fields down at Miami Township West Park Extension. If we take away that park, that's just one example. So all I'm saying is we need to table, invite community members and get more feedback, and from you guys too, you're more than welcome. And table this and have just a meeting over, I guess, the projects we have going on and where the board wants to go and where we wanna go, looking at financially and the needs that are important right now, and then 2 years, or maybe 4 years, 5 years down the road, so that's my recommendation. So if we can move on, if you guys.
That's all I had, I wanted to end on that.
Cause I got a few more, I got a few things, and then we're gonna be making a motion to go into executive session. The one thing I got a couple of things. The first thing is from the beautification committee. They're asking for us to approve, and it's coming out of their budget. They budgeted this in, it is 32 by 26 water capacity, 30-gallon water capacity, Metropolitan Tapered Square Millstone, and they're really sharp containers. They come in at a price of $3,625, and I'm making a motion that, that we approve it so they can go ahead and purchase these.
That comes out of their $10,000 budget?
Yes.
Where, is this going out here then?
Mhm.
Where is this going out here? Yeah, on the ag exterior, sure.
Yep, here and down below,
Okay.
the 7 pots.
I will move that we approve
All
the
right,
proposed expenditure.
Trustee Glenn?
yes.
Trustee Reiner?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Come on, putting this up here, so for Cindy, okay?
Okay, thank you.
I'll notify them and tell them it's fine.
I'm in communication with Heather, I can let her know for you.
Okay. The other thing I got real quick is John Algeier, he treats our fields, down at Miami Township West Park. He sent me an email, he wants to, and I'm bringing this up also, we approved back in the spring, he was gonna wait till the fall, he's gonna try to do it this month, the lip on the main ball field, we already approved that money. And this is for safety reasons, he wants to do the same, the lip on the little baseball field and the softball field at $1,800. So I'm making that a motion also that we approve that, so he can get that done and the grass reseeded and be ready for spring in 2023.
A second.
Trustee Glenn?
Yes,
Trustee Reiner?
Yes.
Trustee Robinson?
Yes.
And he sent me this too, Mike, I don't know, I haven't talked to you, but the pricing on this, I think we need to approve. It's the pricing for the fertilizing, and I believe it's the fall fertilizing. This is not weed control, so everybody's under the understanding. It's for the new firehouse down there, and it's for the community center up here, and it's for $500. And I think for that price, we need to move forward with it, and I'll make that a motion that we give him the okay to go ahead and fertilize for the fall area for the new firehouse and the community center.
I'll second that.
Who is the company?
Okay.
Thank you. Lynn?
Yes.
Trustee Redenberg?
Yes.
Trustee Robinson?
Yes.
Oh, and then, I was just gonna read this in the record real quick, but I had a gentleman and the clerk of courts call me up. I work at the courthouse. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but I'm the assignment commissioner in Court of Common Pleas. But they're doing history research, which you guys would be interested in, at the courthouse. And he called me up. He lives on Dog Trot, it's Jason Alexander. He brought me up a document which I was sort of amazed. It has to do with Miami Township. It's dated 1902. And I understand Kim and Dan has got the safe open, and they're going back through a lot of our old history stuff too. But this has to do with I think it was a bond. They put a bond up, and if anybody wants to look at it afterwards, I just thought it was really interesting. It's dated 1902. It's from our clerk here in Miami Township, and the 3 trustees here signed it back then.
Oh, sorry.
So, I'll make it short, and I think it's very interesting. And we've got an email of it. We cannot get the original, but Kim's gonna check into getting a printer to try to print it on new paper to make it look old. And maybe get it in a frame out here and some of the other stuff.
Who were the trustees? Who were the trustees?
Begley,
Uh,
John Begley
Yeah.
was
Oh,
one.
really?
Yeah,
He was there then?
evidently.
Wow.
1902, it's Begley, something starts with an H, Handle, and Gasson or Gleason, Glasson?
Gleason?
No, Glasson, Glasson, so,
Oh, please.
it's really interesting. So he brought it up to me today, I emailed Kim and Dan and thought we could get it printed, get a frame. I thought it'd be pretty neat to put it in the wall out in the hallway.
We don't owe nothing on that bond, do we?
I hope not. It was $1,000.
$1,000.
Back in 1902, think about that.
Wow.
Yeah, I think you could have bought all of Miami Township for that. So in 1902, that's just, should have been pennies an acre, I would think. So, anyway, that's all I have. Anything else from the public? Jack, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I apologize.
I understand.
Go ahead.
I really have nothing. I just wanted to thank the board. I've been out of pocket for a while. And I want to thank the members of the community that reached out to me. Paul Beck called me almost daily. Danny Blanton came up tonight, my wife passed away, and brought stuff, and, people have been bringing food, and I just wanna thank the board for their compassion and their understanding. Thank those in the community who helped. Chief Lacy, don't know what I'd do without him. Jimmy Hughes sat up there with me, with my wife, from 2 o'clock in the morning till 12 o'clock when she passed, and, just like to thank them. You just don't get that kind of reception every place you go. And just thank you guys. And the only other thing I had was, I look at the newsletter, looks very nice, very professional. Sure, we're paying a lot of money for that. But Chris Osler did this newsletter for years and years and years, and we never even said thank you. That kind of cuts me in a crawl. I think we dropped the ball there. I think Chris should be recognized for what he did, didn't charge us a thing. I'm sure we're paying a lot more than that now. Just my opinion. Once again, thank everybody for the support past two and a half years.
We love you, Jack.
That's it.
All right, I got a motion on the table to go in executive session. Who's gonna make, were you gonna make that motion?
No, you can.
I can make it. Well, I make a motion that we go to executive session to discuss personnel, and I think that's
I'll
it.
second that.
Trustee Glanton?
Yes.
Rainbird?
Yes.
Robison?
Yes.
All right, thanks, everyone. We appreciate it.